It's the return of the Spartan Stampede, voted IPRA Indoor Rodeo of the Year, February 15th to the 17th. See riders test their skills against top caliber livestock in this 3-day event. See barrel racing, steer wrestling, bronc and bull riding, and more. Get your tickets at whartoncenter.com. Seating is general admission with reserved seating available. The 50th Annual Spartan Stampede, February 15th to the 17th, where traditions become legends.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back, Spartan Nation. It's now time for the good, the bad, the ugly with MSU basketball. And for that, we bring in legendary State of Michigan high school prep football and basketball coach, longtime contributor to Spartan Nation, the iconic wonder himself, the man, I don't know if you know this or not, but fertility clinics will hire him. Now, most of you do not know this, but like when you buy a pair of shoes autographed by a player or a basketball, they sit down, and if they're shoes and they say that they're actually worn, they'll put them on their foot, take them off, sign them, put them on there, and they just like an assembly line. Basketball, they'll take 2 dribbles, sign it, 2 dribbles, sign it, whatever. He has to spend 3 days a week at his house trying on Levi's jeans, taking them off, and autographing them, because once he wears them, fertility clinics sell them to people that cannot have children. They put his pants, hang them on the end of the bed, and they instantly conceive. That's the power of this man. Now, on this show, we call him the iconic wonder. And I have to tell you something. The other night at the Michigan State-Indiana game, this wonderful lady, wonderful lady from Stockbridge, Michigan, she's yelling at me, "Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Carpenter." So I turn around, I recognize her, I walk over and say hello. She asks to take a picture with me, and I greatly appreciated that. And she said, "I love it on the radio show when you have the iconic wonder." And I just informed him that I think she is the president of his iconic wonder club. Let's bring him in, the great coach Chuck Renier. How are you, iconic wonder?
I'm doing fine. She's definitely the president and looking for another member.
Hey, yeah. You got to tell Becky she better behave because you have a fan club now.
I know. I'll get after her about that. I'll let her know.
All right. You tell Becky that she now has competition.
She might not be sweating it too much.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you know that you're in trouble when your wife's like, "Really? I didn't know we were competing. She can have you." Just kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Coach, I know the Spartans have lost 2 in a row. There seems to be panic. I don't feel it. I'm not in the least bit concerned about this team at all. Are you?
No, I don't think so. Playing in the Big Ten night after night and the schedule that they came off of, the batteries tend to wear down just a little bit. And when the batteries wear down and you go through a grueling schedule like they have, there seems maybe you don't bring your A game sometimes, and it's just not there for you. And I kind of had a feeling during that game that it was like the little engine that was trying to get up the hill, and they just couldn't do it. And when they do have some warts, they do have some warts. So you have a tendency to turn the ball over or do this or do that. And in a close game like that, and you don't hit your free throws, you're just in for a long night. So they'll get their batteries recharged again, and they'll come back strong.
If you go look at our YouTube page, man, I'm shocked at some of the criticism Izzo's taking. I thought his post-game press conference was brilliant. I mean, he took the blame. I thought, you know what? That's what you want in a coach. I couldn't believe some of the comment.
Well, no, he's deferring the criticism off to himself instead of his players. He didn't miss any free throws, and he didn't rebound like he probably should, and he didn't throw the bad pass and that. So, his team, he knows his team tries hard, and he's got a good group of guys. He's got a terrific group out there. So,
Coach, hold on. Coach, we're losing you. Your audio went out. Are you in a better spot?
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, yeah. He's just deferring the criticism to himself. He's got a great bunch of kids, and they're going to make mistakes. And if you don't bring your A game, like I said before, there's going to be some problems. And the Big Ten is a tough league and a conference, and it's just going to be one of those games. And put it behind you, and let's get the batteries recharged and go at it again.
Totally agree, Coach. for me, one of the things I love about this team is I love Kenny Goins. I love Cassius Winston. But one guy you and I have talked about, but I'm shocked more people aren't, is Xavier Tillman.
He came in when Nick wasn't performing the way that Nick should, and came right in and said, "This is the way you do it." During the game, came in, got the low post position, got the ball, and got a hoop right away. He comes in. He's a good defensive player. He's a much better defensive player in his second year there than I think a lot of people thought. He had long reach, long arms, and he just causes a lot of havoc inside. He is a great team player. He knows his defense. He knows the offense, and he's very verbal out there. You can hear him out there on the floor. So he's doing a terrific job, really terrific job.
I want to say has a strong hold of popularity in Stockbridge. The great coach Chuck Renier. Coach, I want to go. I want to talk about the two wings, the two freshman wings, Gabe Brown and Aaron Henry. I mean, you can see it. They've got it. People just need to understand they're freshmen.
Exactly. Gabe's got a little bit more to go as far as defensively. Definitely has a little bit more to go there, and strength-wise. But he's got a nice stroke. He can really shoot the ball well. He has a lot of enthusiasm. He's just a little bit farther behind Henry, but Henry, definitely the athleticism is fantastic out there. And you can see each week his game gets better and better within the system. Now he can run and he can dunk and he can shoot a little bit and handle the ball pretty good. But his confidence in the game and his knowledge of the offense and the defense gets better every game, and that's really something to look forward to.
Yeah, I totally agree. Coach, both of us like Nick Ward, but he's had a rough few games here, hasn't he?
Well, he has a problem that a lot of young players have, in that his role is to be under the hoop and to score inside and just to bang away, which is a tough way to play all the time, because every game you got to go in there and you got to get bruised up and banged up and do that sort of thing. And then the problem occurred with one of the things that the NBA told him that he had to do was shoot from outside. Well, he made a few baseline jumpers and he made a couple threes and that, and all of a sudden, maybe I got this outside game. And I think that's what Izzo was alluding to at the halftime talk there. Just before he left to go to the locker room and talk to the team, that, he was kind of happy to be out there and shoot those shots from the outside. And you get a little happy that way, you're away from the hoop and shooting. And I think that kind of grabbed him right there. And I think he just got to reclaim that area on the low block. And that's where his bread is buttered, down there in there. And, he's been doing a great job from the free throw line all year. And then there's one of those instances again where that came up and bite him during that last game when he just couldn't make the free throws. So I'm sure Izzo will get him back on track and get him down there on the low block and just battling away.
I agree. Coach, one player that you never can talk enough about is Cassius Winston. This kid's just a purebred star, isn't he?
I worry about him, too. How many times during a ball game, not only the stress and the wear and tear of running up and down the floor and running the offense and playing really good defense, how many times during the course of a game is he getting up off the floor? He hits the floor like 2, 3, 4 times a game. That has some concerns for me. But he is playing great. I think he's probably the front runner right now for Big Ten Player of the Year. If he continues on this with his assists and scoring, his defense, I don't think there's anybody that's going to challenge him. I think he's by far the front leader. And then you got to consider also his play with the loss of Josh Langford. And because they've lost that 15 points a game, they've lost that good defense that Josh had. What role that Cassius Winston is playing now is just, that just makes it even a tougher role for him to play. And by doing that, I think he's just overcome the loss of Langford to some degree.
Great points there. We're talking to the iconic wonder himself, the great coach Chuck Renier. Each and every week he joins us to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly with Spartan basketball. And we'll have more with Coach next week. Don't miss it. Good, the bad, and the ugly with the great coach Chuck Renier, the iconic wonder. Renier, the